From the heart of the university, an audio gift to the city. This is Siren 107.3 FM.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the American Dream Team. You may be expecting Jack Harrison to be doing this part of the show, but this time it's my turn on my own this side of the desk, which is the driving side of the desk. So I'm Jodie Orton. I'm here with the return of Lily Bell.
Hello.
Hello. Also, Ben Steele, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Emily Brown, how are you doing today?
Not too bad, thank you.
Excellent. And Jack.
Hello.
I'm not used to seeing you on that
Okay,
side.
I'm not used to being on this side. It's fun for me, I enjoy it.
It's a bit of a reversal of things today. So we opened up the show with Aerosmith and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which is a fabulous song. Of course, you can contact us during the show on all our usual sources. On our Facebook page, The American Dream Team. You can contact us on Twitter, Ben, which is
at Siren ADT 107.
And don't forget that after the show, even though we expect you to be listening through to the whole thing, you can listen to previous shows and the rest of the show if you want to listen to it over and over again on
YouTube, on our page, which is Siren ADT.
Yay.
So just search Siren ADT and I'm sure you'll find it. I thought it was the American Dream Team, but it wasn't. It was Siren ADT. So if you were looking for it and didn't find it, now you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, what have we got on the show today? Well, we've got the usual news and sports news. Jack's going to be telling us a little bit about Super Tuesday, which is politics.
Very
so I'll do my best
times.
to stay awake. Obviously, that's quite imperative today, isn't it?
That is very interesting. I don't think you'll be going to sleep with some of the things they've been saying.
Myself and Lily will be reviewing Jodi Picoult's new book, Lone Wolf. We'll be looking at famous birthdays and events in history. And back again this week, we've got Harrison Smith, the writer and producer of 6 Degrees of Hell. And we'll also be looking forward to catching up with the director, Joe Raffa, who we didn't manage to hook up with last week, but I promise they will both be here this week, so we can talk to both of them.
It's very sweet of them to come back again.
I know, well we do, we're getting very excited, aren't we, about this film?
We obviously made an impression, I guess.
Definitely.
So we've got that coming up just after 6 o'clock, and also we'll be doing the March's edition of the Random American Quiz of the Week. Lily Bell, this is your debut.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Don't be scared. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's only Jack.
It's such a thrill.
Oh, actually.
It's such a thrill when you win.
That's not going to happen. I'm going to have to depend on Chloe for this.
Well, Chloe's not here, so you're going to have to do it yourself, I'm afraid.
I don't know. Oh, goodness.
Anyway, while you're getting yourself ready for the quiz, I'm going to hand over to Jack for the news.
Yeah, after the news, we'll be talking about Super Tuesday in more detail. But in the news, voters in 10 US states are set to pick a Republican presidential candidate as the rollercoaster race reaches a potentially decisive turning point. Super Tuesday is today and it sees contests in Ohio, Georgia, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Vermont, Virginia, Oklahoma, Idaho, North Dakota and Alaska. Voting has already begun on the East Coast, including the key battleground of Ohio, where Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum are level pegging in the polls.
Sorry,
Rick Santorum there, just to mention. No Republican nominee has ever gone on to be president without winning the primary in Ohio, so it is seen as pretty much a must-win. All 4 candidates, though, do have leads in polls in different states, suggesting that all 4 of them could end up chalking up wins on Super Tuesday, and so would keep them in the race. Frontrunner Mitt Romney, former Massachusetts governor and private equity tycoon, has been riding a wave of momentum after 4 consecutive poll wins. And as I said, shortly after the news, we'll be talking about we talk every week about primaries and caucuses and delegates. Well, I do anyway. Primaries and caucuses and delegates, and I'll hopefully be doing my best to explain what some of them are and how, if someone wants to be president, they go about doing it.
Well, I'll pay special attention today, Jack.
Even I'm confused.
In other news, several people have been killed after a series of tornadoes struck the American Midwest. The states of Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Georgia and Alabama were all hit by intense winds, which flattened homes, lifted rooftops and tore down power lines. A total of 90 tornadoes and 700 severe weather events were reported on Friday alone. They caused widespread damage, and it is not clear how many people have been made homeless. President Barack Obama has offered federal help to the affected states. And finally this week, this is controversial, Emily, calm down. You can see, so you're getting ready to rant about this already. Conservative US radio host Rush Limbaugh has apologised for a second time after calling a Georgetown University law student a slut over her views on contraception. This is as more advertisers have abandoned his show.
Good.
Sandra Fluke had appeared before a congressional committee to argue that institutions with religious affiliations should be required to cover the cost of contraception in their health insurance policies. Limbaugh's reaction was met with sharp criticism from Democrats and Republicans alike on Friday. President Barack Obama called Ms. Fluke personally to offer his support. Ms. Fluke also rejected the latest apology, suggesting that Limbaugh, who only apologised for his use of language and not his actual views, was forced to make the statement after AOL became the latest high-profile firm to withdraw adverts from his popular weekly show, taking the total to drop out to 9. That's my news this week.
Yeah. That bothered me quite a lot when I read about that.
Yeah, it was
awful.
It's almost as if that was what he was trying to do, and bother people.
Yeah.
So just don't give him any attention. If you don't give him attention, he doesn't get.
He made a lot of controversial.
He's made a lot.
It's all he does.
Yeah.
So if you don't give him any attention, like people pull out of his show and all that, then he'll go away.
I'm glad that radio, that his sponsors have.
And to be fair, the Republican, a lot of senior figures in the Republican Party criticised him. They said his views weren't in line with what they believed in whatsoever.
Which is a good thing.
Even though they disagree with the bill,
yeah,
they don't think government should force health insurance of any kind on any institution.
Yeah,
freedom of government, freedom of religion, all that, which is an opinion and a fair one. But they wanted to make it clear that they didn't agree with his more personal views about.
And that he made it very personal.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my news this week.
So let's go to Ben for the sports news.
Okay. I've only got one story this week because obviously I don't really want to just be reading out the scores of the millions of games that are happening in the ice hockey and the basketball stuff. And it is in the one sport that is in its off-season at the moment, American football. It's all getting a bit dodgy. The New Orleans Saints are in a lot of trouble after details about a bounty scheme being offered to players emerged. It's alleged that defensive coordinator Greg Williams offered bonuses to his defensive players if they were able to injure a player sufficiently for them to leave an opposing player sufficiently for them to leave the game, obviously making it easier for that team to win. If this is found to be true, there are calls to banish Williams from the game. He's not allowed to be involved in American football at all, in any level, college, high school, I assume, I don't know. And also, Williams is now the coordinator of the St. Louis Rams, so they're obviously just as worried as the Saints are. The Saints are probably likely to face some form of punishment as well, probably in the form of just a fine that they can definitely afford anyway.
Yeah,
I imagine it would be quite a hefty fine.
Yeah. It's quite scandalous, really, isn't it?
Well, it's a weird one though, because you would think when they're having their team talks and whatever, that coaches go out there and hit them hard and everything. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's not. But it's intentionally injuring someone.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's difficult to.
There are rumours that he had 2 previous defensive coordinator jobs in Buffalo and Washington, and there are rumours that he had done it there as well.
Right.
So he might have been doing this for his entire coaching career. Yeah. But it's a bit odd. These players are on millions of dollars a year. Why the sort of reported figures were sort of $50,000, which in the grand scheme of things, on how much they're making on their contracts, it seems an odd thing to even sort of motivate them.
Which is weird. Yeah.
Well, let's all remember the Karate Kid. It didn't work. Trying to
sweep the leg.
Yeah, Danielson. So we don't condone that in any kind of sport. So anyway, so that's it for.
I was going to say, I did see another sports story. Well, kind of. I think they were either maths or physics students at UCLA built a paper aeroplane, and they got a quarterback to throw it for them, and it broke the record for the furthest a paper aeroplane had ever flown.
That's not something I'd see, but
kind of sport related.
Paper aeroplane records.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty pro that.
A college quarterback to throw it, and it went the furthest the paper airplane ever gone.
How far?
Wow.
I can't remember the details.
The Atlantic? Did it land in London?
It's going to land outside the studio any second now. So.
It is.
Don't say that.
Okay, so another sad piece of news that we had this week was that one of the members of the Monkees, Davy Jones, who was in fact British, but the rest of the group were American, and He died this week, age 66, I believe. So we thought we would play a little bit of the Monkees.